All right, we'll fucking do the player ranking. So I did restructure tiers since last time. Like restructure tiers as in like I combed through what we did last stream and then like redid the tiers of the people. Like I didn't move people, but I just like re-tiered people based on like who's next to who and that sort of thing. And because yeah, I also wanted to like double check to make sure like there's no like major contradictions. Which I didn't notice any outside of one. And we'll talk about that in a second. I just realized I didn't check the VODs. I don't think there's anything new. Because I think I would have noticed it earlier. But I'll double check to make sure there's no comments in the VODs. Let's see this. And Matt Williams doing Big Brother first boot. Isn't Matt Williams just like Summer of Steve? But like maybe worse. Okay, no comments there. I don't think there's any comments on this one. All right, guys. Cool. Shut up, here. Please. Shut up. Thank you. Oh, one comment. Okay. Let's see. Okay, well, first things first, actually. I think I'll deal with this first. So, okay, the one thing that stuck out to me when doing the tiers is that I feel like Jessica the Ben should probably be lower. Because I think I was keeping her with Erica was like a big thing. But it's still a spot where like Jessica is taken out before Erica. And it's like Jessica never like, yeah, I do think Jessica was like swap screwed to a degree, but like it's still a spot where she was still the first voted out. So it's like, why is she higher than like some of these people? I think is the thing. Like she still won the better first boots, but I don't think she should be like this high. So I am thinking of moving Jessica to Ben. Let's see. Where do I want to put her though? Because like I don't think she should be higher than like a Stephanie Valencia here. And then I don't think she should be higher than like the Figgy here. Actually, let's do something else. I should do is probably also move the tiers accordingly as well. So yeah, like what tier does she fit in the most? Maybe like here. Maybe Christina Kell, Rachel Fogler, Brandon Donlin. Maybe that's actually more apt. But even then, they survived a tribal, right? Jessica Ben didn't. But I guess like you can argue her swap screwiness is like the equivalent of surviving a tribal. No, what did I fuck up there? That should be fine, right? Why is that not moving? Oh, I okay, that's why I selected numbers too. Yeah, so I think that is a move I'm making here. And I think I'm going to put her below them. Like, I think I'll put her here. Oh no, JD made part 3 now. Should JD make part 3? Or is it part 4, actually? Wait, that's part 4. JD made part 4? Yeah, I guess. I guess JD made part 4. Cool. But yeah, I think that's the right call to make, is to move Jessica down. Yeah, I think that's fine. Is 3-1 Final 4 immunity / fire to win the game with agency until like Final 7, which would be number 1. Like if we're saying, so like in the world where I said that like if the idol gets played, like if Ozzy plays the idol and then she gets the 4 and then wins immunity or something at 4, probably yeah. Because I think her game before, like yeah, like her game up to Final Seven was pretty strong. Even in that war where Ozzy plays this idol, like she still would have been involved in the votes. I guess she wouldn't have been involved in like the at that point. Actually, yeah, she wouldn't have been involved in like the Ozzy and Tiffany votes, but like she still would have been like, yeah. Actually, no. At that point, she would be dragged, but still, it's like, yeah, I still think she would be enough to be number one though, because I do think she pretty much controlled the game up to that split tribal vote. There was this. Yeah. I would take Ashley. Like, Ashley, I don't think would be a terrible lawyer. Like, I think Ashley's probably a mess outside. Actually, no. We know Ashley's a mess outside the court. But, like, Ashley's someone that I think within court, like, I could see where she gets, like, serious. And, like, could, like, do well at defending like, herself and everything and defending you. Yeah, okay. And then we just have to respond to this. Blake Towsley feels too high considering the circumstances around what got him voted out. He feels like Chris Noble, Ryan Aiken level. Yeah, where's Blake Towsley? He is. He's here. Where's Ryan Aiken in them? It's a decent jump down. Like, I do agree. Like, I do think Blake, like, the way Blake gets voted out is pretty bad. And him surviving one tribal isn't, like, particularly impressive in that position. I'm kind of feeling like if Blake moves down, to me, it feels like Peter kind of also moves down. But I guess Peter is slightly better, though. Blake got screwed because his girlfriend, who was in part of the season, had massive boobs. That is true. Like, his girlfriend had such massive boobs that he had to talk about them. He, like, again, how could he not talk about them? Again, that's just not fair. That he had the he was forced to talk about his girlfriend's breasts. I think, yeah, I think Blake being around here actually makes more sense. What were they saying? Ryan Aiken tier? I don't think I wouldn't put him that low, but I would put him like JP level though. I think is what feels more appropriate. However, I do think the thing for Blake though is that even though I don't think Blake is good in any way, obviously, like I think Blake, like Blake is someone that I think was still safe in his original tribe formation. Is like the minor bit of credit to give him. So yeah, he gets taken after the swap, and like I think everything after swap is really bad. But like if his tribe went to tribal again, I don't think he's the next to go. Like I think Judd and like Margaret would have been like more out there than Blake. So like I think that's like a level of grace to potentially give him. But I still do think, yeah, he probably should be closer to here. Maybe. Actually, but then again, these people are like... I mean, I get the logic for why he's here, actually. His exit is very bad, though, which is like... Maybe here? Like, maybe, like, Lindsay Ogle tier instead? Like, Lindsay, Bruce, Rome? Maybe that's the tier he should be in? The question is, does this move these people too? He had the flex on the betas and submissives. That is true. Because I think I do stand by the fact that, like, is Peter and Patrick that much better? Patrick survives a tribal against Simone. And it's taken out there. Peter survives over Liz, gets swapped, survives over Anna, and then taken out. I guess he like actually. Well, actually, I guess they all vote someone out. That was also the part of the calculus. And these people. Well, I guess Bill votes someone out, but like barely. Actually, I guess Vince votes someone out. Seafood. Yeah, I guess actually all these people except for Sarah vote someone out too. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the logic makes sense for why he's here. Because he at least voted someone out and then stayed in a safe position after that. Yeah, I think I'm sticking. I think I'm sticking with Blake Towsley here. Like I get the argument, and I do think there's definitely merit to it, but I think ultimately I settle on the fact that I think the fact that he was not necessarily going home next from his tribe, and at least also vote out someone like correctly, I think is enough to put him here. Nadia should be below Mari. Where do I have Nadia versus Mari? Nadia here, Mari here. I do have Nadia below Mari. Yeah, I do. Brandon losing Hannah because she quit and losing his vote, I think should land him right where he belongs, which would be around Melinda Hyder. Yeah, where's the Melinda Hyder? It's a pretty big gap. Where's Melinda there? Yeah, so that's a pretty big gap at this point. That is fair, though. That you can say that he was unfortunate from his closest ally quitting the game. He didn't have a vote. He did also give Sabaya an idol. Is that something? Like, obviously, it would be very, very funny, but if anything, it's actually making me consider moving Melinda and Erica down more than anything. Or maybe I can move them up. I don't know. But I don't think I'm gonna like. I think even if I move them up, I move them up to like here. I guess like credit to Brandon. Yeah, I mean, I guess like okay, yeah, credit to Brandon in the sense that he was at least initially kind of in the center of his tribe. Where like he had a good connection to like Emily, he had a good connection to Hannah, had a good connection to Sabaya. So like I do think he actually starts off okay. Him above these people though, I'm not sure if I want to fully go through with it. I'm debating if I'm willing to just do it for the joke. I think is like generally what's on my mind right now. And like I could argue it. Like it's definitely not like against like arguing because like I think there was a point where he was here, right? He was like with Voce and like Val. Um, Kamu talking about making a deal with Rome. It's happening. It's almost real. Let's see. I'm seeing an update right now, but I don't. Yeah, I don't think that really matters. But the strategy has to be that there's a trio with Devins, Roman, and Kamu. We'll have to see if that happens. I am gonna move Brandon up. I think is where I'm settling. I don't know if I'm moving him up enough to put him with Melinda though. Let's see. Okay, so like what am I willing to do? I'm willing to move him. It's like obviously above this. I think the difference is that these people never had a position to do anything. Genuinely, like they never really had the number. Brandon at least did start off in a position to like have numbers, which I think is like a minor credit to him. I'm willing to go above these people. I think. I don't know. Like JD versus Brandon Donlin. I don't think it should be that big of a difference. Yeah, I think that's where the logic falls apart. But I guess it's like Brandon's someone that theoretically should have voted someone out, right? Because Brandon doesn't vote someone out, but like he should have. Like if they went to trial the first time around, he would have been the majority in voting out Emily. So yeah, I think I'll move him back into at least this Voce tier. To give him credit for at least like being in an initial good spot. I think Melinda Hyder, it's like I could argue it. Like I could do it. I just think it'd be funny to do it. Like it's not that big of a gap at this point. I think I was right about Ashley being Kat Dunn. I can kind of see that. I mean, even Kat Dunn though had a better like starting spot. But yeah, like in terms of like style of player, it's not too far apart. Like style, personality, especially. I'm thinking maybe this is a spot where they move down. No, I don't think it makes sense to do that. Yeah, okay. I think it ultimately has to be a spot where, like, am I willing to compromise the list just to have Brandon Donlin and Erica and Melinda together? I think Brandon Donlin here in this tier, I can justify that. I don't think it makes sense to have Brandon above the people that like had at least like a semblance. Actually, I guess like with Gandia. I think I can do it. I think I can do it actually. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. I think I'm gonna do it. Because I think I can argue it. Genuinely, I think I can. Because like I think between Brandon and Gandia, I don't think that's far apart. Which again, what a comparison that is. But like, yeah, I think I can move Brandon into that tier. Which like at that point, it's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll just do it. There we go. Brandon at one spot below Melinda Hyder. Thank God. Thoughts of the season so far, BB28. I've had fun with it. It's been tough to follow what exactly is going on at this point. Especially for someone that hasn't had like the time to like fully follow the feeds. But it seems very hectic, and I do think it is a seemingly high level of gameplay, relatively, that we're seeing. So it is interesting to see, again, like people actually playing well for once in the early days of Big Brother, which we haven't seen in a while. So that's something. Um, all right, well, what's the other comment? I feel like Kane is too high. His game made me think there isn't much. He wasn't much better than a Janine. Well, we're not there yet, but I guess we'll still look at where Kane is. Kane is decently high. Where was Janine? Janine was. I think Kane's better than Janine though. It's a pretty big gap. Maybe it shouldn't be that big, but I do stand by Kane is definitely better than Janine. Like Kane is someone that like, yeah, he like after the Maddie vote, he was definitely in a very precarious spot. Um, but I do think the Maddie vote in itself, I think is kind of like I don't really fault him too much for how all that went down. And I think in the post merge, I don't think he plays that poorly. Like I think he's playing fine at that point. Like Janine is someone that like doesn't even get her way for the Mariah vote. Then is like technically like I don't know, like in a precarious spot for the rest of the pre-merge, and then it's just actually on the bottom for the rest of the post-merge. So it's like there's not really like I think Kane at least showed like an ability to recover. Janine didn't. So yeah, I love when Drew wears a bandana because it really pushes the Dan Giesling. Again, I can't wait for Drew to be the next Dan Giesling. Genuinely, it's actually like not that far out of the realm of possibility of like a Dan BB10. No. All right, let's move forward. I don't know how much I'm going to get done tonight. I'll be honest, I'm really tired already, but we'll see. I think this tier, my guess would be that they probably move down. This next tier here of Linda, Carl, and Paul Wachter. But maybe not. I don't know. They did have like it's like Linda and Carl had half the tribe on their side, though like kind of isolated the other half. Paul Wachter is someone that what's it called? Actually something else I'll do. How do I want to handle this actually? Am I gonna move the tiers as we do it, or I don't think I think I'll just do it off stream. I think it's probably just better that way. Waste less time on stream. So I'll deal with like the readjusting of the tiers like I did here for off stream. Either way, whatever. Yeah, Linda, Carl, Paul Wachter. I don't think they should be that much higher than who was it? I guess they could like Carl and Linda didn't really control anything, right? Like maybe they're closer to like Gandia. Gandia and Jean though aren't really that. He's like they didn't control any vote, but they weren't actually in the minority either. So I don't feel like it's quite the same as like these people at least. But also not like particularly good players either, and they don't really vote someone out. Like I think Paul Wachter might just be different. Paul Wachter did vote in the majority the first time, and I do think he's eventually taken out due to like a bit of a misunderstanding. More than like him doing too much like actively wrong. But I guess is that different from like this? Like I mean like it probably is better. Like maybe it's like this tier. Who the fuck in their entire life is like compare Paul Wachter to Jessica Pete? Or maybe that's like maybe it's this tier actually, like Dawson, Max Dawson, Annika. That actually kind of makes more sense. So yeah, I think that actually, I think that makes more sense actually. control the vote is flipped on, but like it's not the worst flip in the entire world. We're not even at 100 Ls yet, and 100 Ls probably is moving down also. Um, so yeah, I think Paul Wachter is at least there. And actually, I literally said I'm not gonna do the tiers, and I just did it anyway. But whatever, I'll do this one because I already did it. Whatever. Where in this tier? I think I'm gonna go. I might go above Max Dawson, below Matt Elrod. Matt Elrod, like at least has like the fact that he was like a very affable guy and could have won a jury vote and whatever. Good challenges. Paul Wachter, like I think on paper is worse than Max and Annika, but like I actually think he probably does less wrong than Max and Annika. Like he doesn't really seem to do, yeah, he doesn't really seem to like do not much wrong outside of like yeah, Jessica just like misunderstanding, thinking that he's like, which I guess is still like a flaw, especially like considering the fact that they believed, like she believed it. Um, but he still had two people siding with him by the end. I think I'll still, yeah, I think I'll lean towards above. Um, but yeah, what am I doing with Linda and Carl? I think they should be lower. Because at least these people were like in an initial majority, right? Like Linda and Carl weren't even in a majority, and yeah, they still had like a good chunk of backing by the time they leave. But like, are they really that good? It's like I think maybe like here makes sense. Um, like I think like Patricia is like a good comparison, and like even Patricia like voted someone out. It's like maybe even below Patricia. Um, yeah, I'm thinking around there. I think that does make sense to me. And I think they're probably their own sub tier. Um, so yeah, all right. There's that. Vince Sly, Dale Wentworth, and Janine. Or Justine, I mean. That's kind of a random grouping. Um, Vince Sly. Okay, so Dale just doesn't actually fit in this tier, right? Like Dale isn't this. Like Vince and Justine, I think that's probably more comparable. Like players that got like a tad unlucky in their eliminations that also just aren't actually that good of players. Um, like I think them being together makes sense. Um, I don't know where exactly I want to put them. Probably still, like they might still be at the top. The problem is they didn't vote anyone out, and there's still some bad play within that. Like, who's the last person here that didn't vote a single person out? I think it gets to here. So maybe I put them there? Like maybe below here? Which I guess I'm just fucking doing the tiers at this point. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I guess I'm just fucking doing it. That puts Vince below Max Dawson. But I guess that's fair, but also it's like I kind of want to give credit to Vince for like coming up with a 3-2-1. But also he doesn't vote out anybody. And he's also just not that good of a player, actually. um, eh. Oh, are we about to get to our first post mergers? Oh no, we have Bruce and them. Whatever. Um, I think it makes sense though to move him down to around here. Yeah, I think it does make sense to do that. Um, and then I think I'll put Vince above Justine. Maybe. Jason Troll above Janine. Maybe. We'll see. Bruce Willis Pros merger. I think so. Are we including Mergatory? If Mergatory is included, maybe. I think Charity would be the lowest. She's like really low. Actually, no, I forgot Chris Noble also. I forgot about Chris Noble. Anyway, I think Charity. If we're doing Mergatory, I think it's Charity. If not Mergatory, then it's Chris Noble. And then then Bruce and Rome are there. I think it's a pretty big gap after that. Mariah is there. And Sydney. They were Mergatory also. Either way. Now I think about it, Justine theoretically had a majority. I guess like Vince did too. Okay, I guess that was the argument actually. But they still weren't able to actually vote anyone out. And they still made mistakes to cause. Yeah, okay. I think I'm fine with them being here. Then Dale Wentworth is just different. I think Dale is actually probably closer to like Lisi and Dirk, probably. Or maybe he's just the top. Maybe he could just be the top actually. Dale's a very flawed player. Morgan McLeod might have been there too. I don't remember. No, Morgan McLeod we're not at yet. Soda, I think we did pass Soda, right? Oh, and Lydia's there too. Yeah, okay, yeah, we did pass Soda. Yeah, Soda's there too. What were we at? Yeah, Dale Wentworth. Just double check something. All right. I could definitely argue Dale's just at the top. I mean, Dale survived how many? Okay, cool. Hit the mic. He survived 2 tribals, taking out Val and Nadia, where he was in the majority. You can argue he led the Nadia vote. He is blindsided when John Rocker goes out and was the next to go. Swaps into a bad position, but he makes it worse by picking a fight with Missy and Baylor. And then just is like Kelly goes home, then he goes home. So like it's not great. But like he does do interesting, like he does the fake idol play with John Mish that seemingly works for a second. That's interesting. And again, he leads the Nadia vote and does end up, like, even though he's not in the majority the entire time, he does end up surviving 4 tribals, which is a lot in comparison to the people we've gone through so far. Yeah, I'm thinking Dale might just be at the top. I don't think there's a person that's survived as many tribals as he has up to this point. I think his head was more in the game than, yeah, so I feel like this is probably the case. I think Dale might be at the top of the people we've gone through so far. Do I think returnees in Big Brother seasons will become the norm? Yes, especially considering the ratings for the season are seemingly very high. I think they'll probably just continue this trend. So I was going to vote out Nina, Jen until Nina happened. Yeah. But I still think it's a spot where it ultimately doesn't go through. And I think you can still call out like negative, like bad play from them before that. So I still think putting them below the people that actually did at least get a vote through is still fine. All right, now we're on the Joel. Okay, wait, actually, is this all the tier? Okay, I guess this is all the tier. Which I think is moving lower. Joel Klug, Hunter Ellis, Swathi, and Kevin from Survivor 48. Which is kind of a random grouping. Joel Klug. Okay, wait, let me look at this. I think Dale Wentworth is probably going to end up in this tier in retrospect. So I think him being at the top there feels fine. Joel, Hunter. Joel, wait. Okay, Joel, do that. Fucking Joe Hunter. Joel and Hunter. It's almost Joe Hunter. Anyway, Joel and Hunter back to back. I think is probably fine. Maybe. I mean, so Joel. Well, yeah, they both survived 2 tribals, get voted at their 3rd. Both were in the. Well, no. Joel was in the majority for both of his first 2 tribals. Hunter was only for 1. But anyway, I think like Joel, then Hunter makes sense. Swathi was in the majority for her first vote, gets voted out her second. I actually think Swathi was doing some good things, though it just backfires and she ends up getting voted out. But I think like her attempts to like pull in Tori were still pretty good. I think my instinct would be her above Joel and Hunter Ellis. But I mean, that's not found. I mean, she did only survive 1 tribal in comparison to their 2, right? Yeah. Yeah, I guess not, actually. And maybe Swathi is lower. And then Kevin. I think Kevin and Swathi together make sense. Like, I think these 2 groupings make sense. Of Joel and Hunter together and Swathi and Kevin together. So Joel and Hunter led. They didn't lead though 2 votes, but anyway, they survived 2 votes. That's better than these people. Patricia is here, and like Hunter's better than Patricia, but maybe it shouldn't be that big of a gap. But so these are people that only survived 1 tribal. How many did Dirk survive? Dirk survived 2, right? Yeah, gets voted out the 3rd. Is Janu getting too high? Wait, let me think about Janu. Janu is someone that like ultimately gets voted out her 3rd tribal, but was never really in a majority group, but also was meant to survive even past her boot tribal. Which is something. And I think Janu had actually like an okay start. So yeah, I do think I'm gonna keep Janu. Like I'm thinking something like I'm just talking about Joel and Hunter for right now. I think Joel and Hunter. Maybe Joel should be like different from Hunter actually, because like Hunter only votes 1 person out and then is on the outs right after that. So like, how much better is it really than someone like a Patricia? Like Joel, I think is someone that like at least is in the majority for both of his pre-merge votes before he gets voted out, and even then, like when he gets voted out, I don't think it's even that bad. It's like I think him being here, Dirk actually kind of makes sense. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking here for Joel. Actually, Joel versus Lisi. Lisi was. Let me think through Lisi. Lisi gets voted on her third tribal as well. Was in the majority for her first tribal. Technically, he's in the majority for a second tribal, but like gets swapped into a majority and then is voted on her third. Okay, that was something. Headset like turned off then turned back on for like no reason. Don't know why it did that, but whatever. That's fine. Um maybe Lisi, maybe it should be Joel, Dirk, and then Lisi maybe. Kind of thinking maybe that instead. Or should Lisi be closer to Janu? Maybe that's actually something I do. Maybe I do Janu and Lisi. And then create a Janu Lisi tier. So I feel like that could also be fine. And then like just Kathy is like a bit different, I guess. Like okay, let me think through Kathy again too. Well, so let me think. Kathy went to two tribals in the pre-merge, ends up being in the majority for both of them, gets swapped, and then she only goes to two tribals. She would have survived another. I don't believe she was the target if she went to another tribal. She also was starting to form alliance at that point. Like her game was kind of on the upswing if she wasn't Kathy. I hit the mic because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I feel like that is just a better version of Janu and Lisi. So yeah, I think I guess the argument should be Kathy versus Joel and Dirk. Oh, maybe it is below them because I guess she wasn't in the majority. Like Dirk and Joel were in the majority for those first two votes. Well, I mean, Kathy was in the majority to clarify, but like she voted with the majority, but she wasn't really in a majority group though. Which I guess too far was Dirk. Yeah, you know, I'm keeping Kathy where she is. I think this is fine for now. Hunter Ellis, I'm gonna move down. Hunter is someone that did vote someone out, but then is on the outs. Does survive a couple vote or survive one vote after that. It's like I think he's below this tier, at least. I would say below this tier also. I think Gandia might actually be kind of an interesting one. Where like Gandia and like obviously like Hunter's a very different player. Like Hunter's a player that like plays more out in front, is more of like the leader figure. But is his game that different from like a Gandia Janine type in the sense that they like start off in a majority group and then like ultimately just lose those numbers and then eventually get taken out? Like I guess actually really he's more of like a Gene. Or like Gandia, and like I don't know, maybe Gandia's worse actually. Gandia, like Gandia, I think Tanya quitting is definitely something to you can give her like some credit for. Actually, wait, is Gandia and Brandon Donlin more of a parallel? Maybe that is a thing. Gandia, Brandon Donlin both had like okay starting positions, but then had like number one allies that quit the game and then end up not being in a good position after that. I actually feel like that's not the worst thing in the world. But I feel like Gene and Hunter Ellis is also not the worst comparison. Like I feel like that feels okay to me. Have Gene and Hunter Ellis. Where like obviously Hunter was more out in front, but I think in terms of like trajectory of their games, it's not that dissimilar. And if like anything, Gene's like exit is less egregious than Hunter's. But I do think Hunter's like opening position is probably better than Gene. But I think Hunter being there does make sense though. Then again, is Hunter really that much better than a Paul Walker? He isn't, though. He isn't better than Paul Walker, right? I mean, I guess he survives more tribal than a Paul Walker. I guess that was the thing. Yeah, fuck it. I'll leave it as is. All right, and then we got Swathi and Kevin. They control one, or like in the majority for one vote. Were the swings theoretically for that one vote, and then get taken out after that. In this spot where they're trying to make a big move. In a big move that I do think was their optimal play. It's just that they didn't have the social capital to execute. Stable. Oh, okay. What the fuck? I don't know if my computer's just struggling at this point. No. But yeah, I think they're lower than this tier that like voted out a couple people. I kind of feel like maybe they're a better Erica and Melinda. Actually, wait, why is Erica above Melinda? Well, I guess for the joke. But like Erica was on the outs on the first vote. Melinda was on the in of the first vote. So like Melinda should be higher, right? But then I can't make the joke. Shit. We'll do this for now. I'll have to think about if it's worth making the joke for. Okay. Is it worth to sacrifice the what do you call it? The authenticity of the list just to make the one joke? Um, but yeah, Swathi and Kevin, I think this isn't a terrible placement for them. Control the vote. Tried to swing a second vote. And it's below people that did survive more tribals than them. Controlled more votes, but I still think like an okay placement. Swathi versus Kevin, I think is also kind of interesting because I think it's like kind of two different arguments. Like where Swathi is someone that I think the move she tried to make is probably a little bit more ambiguous. That like I think Swathi was more in a position where she just did nothing. She probably was fine for the short term. Where like Kevin was probably in more of a need to make a move. But I think Kevin was more of a decider in the first vote. But also the first vote was bad. Like I think he probably made the wrong call during that first vote in voting out Stephanie. So yeah, I think I'm leaning Swathi higher. Yeah, I think I'm leaning Swathi higher. I think Kevin's misstep of voting out Stephanie is worse than what Swathi does. I think, but then I don't know. I guess it's like Kevin's boot though isn't that bad. I really could go either way on this. Like, I don't really have that much of a vested interest. Like my gut is telling me Kevin higher, even though I don't know if that's what's logically sound, but my gut is just telling me that. So I think I'll just follow through with that. Um. Also, why do I have Swati and Kevin here twice? Just double checking. Yeah, I do have them here twice for some reason. um. Got. All right, now we're on to the shitty post mergers kind of grouping here. All right, we got Clarence. Wait, where's this tier end? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like here. Clarence, John Kenny, Jason Siska, Michael Jefferson, Star. It's kind of a random grouping. Like talking through their games, Clarence survives 2 votes. Gets voted out as survives 3 votes. Technically votes in the majority the entire time, but never really has an alliance. Gets voted out as his 4th vote. Kind of a okay trajectory, but like just didn't really have any like actual allies along the way. Which like I think that's worse than Dale in retrospect. Or like I had him above Dale here, but like I think in retrospect that's probably below Dale. Like I think they went to the same amount of tribals. And I guess to be fair, Clarence voted out more people than Dale. But like Dale at least had an alliance at the beginning. Clarence never really did. I think it's actually kind of close. Like how much credit do I want to give Clarence for being on the end of all those votes? I don't think I'm going to give him that much credit, genuinely. Because like it's not like he ever got his way during any of those votes. So yeah, my gut is like here in a separate tier from these people. He did survive more tribals than these people, for whatever that's worth. But yeah, I think he is like around here. John Kenny. Dude, actually, am I really going to do 1 by 1 on these? Fuck me, dude. I shouldn't have done this. Either way. Like, I mean, I think there is a difference, though, between Clarence and these people. Like, Clarence never... Well, I mean, maybe Star's a bit different. But, like, Clarence never had any alliance of any sort. These people at least had an alliance. Was it a good alliance? No, but they at least had an alliance. John Kenny, though, John Kenny survived also 3 tribals. Gets voted out at his 4th. Gets flipped on by his own people by that point, which is pretty bad. Does survive over all of his OG alliance members. And did have an alliance that was almost half the tribe. I'm kind of debating that with Dale Wentworth. They went to the same amount of tribals. I think Dale actually has higher highs and was at least in initial majority. Where like John Kenny was never actually in the majority. So I feel like it's also another one where Dale might go higher, and I think John Kenny feels better than Clarence though. So I think for now maybe put him in a separate sub tier. Jason Siska. Jason survived how many tribals? He survived the first 2 on the Fans tribe, but was on the outs for both of them. Gets to the merge, is on the outs for the Eliza vote, gets in on the Aussie vote, only to then get voted out after that. So he goes to 5 tribals, votes correctly once, and then voted out at the last one. That is pretty bad. I guess like Jason did have allegiances in the game though. Like early on, he was with Mikey B. Post swap, he was building a bot like Penner and Eliza. After that, his game's kind of shit. But like, I think he's John Kenny level. Like Social Pariah was a pretty horrible actual player, but yeah, I think ultimately I actually think below John Kenny though. Yeah, I think there. Michael Jefferson. Michael Jefferson survives 2 pre-merge tribals. Was in initial alliance with Matt. Is on the outs. Technically, though, does vote out Bill. Swaps into a spot where I believe he would have been the first to go had they gone to tribal, but they just never did. Then gets their merge, votes out Jonas, and goes out. So like he goes to 4 tribals, votes correctly twice. Though really only one of them is in a spot where he's getting his way. So 3 tribals, getting his way once. I think that's probably also still in this tier, right? I think that's just I think it makes sense why he's in this tier. And above or below? He gets voted out by his own people. He does at least get through the Jonas vote. I think I'm going to have John Kenny above. Him versus Jason Siska, I think, is kind of interesting, though. I am leaning above. Yeah, I think I'm going to go above. It's not by that much, but I think, I think it's slightly above. Then Star, I think, is interesting. Star might be closer to a Clarence. Star might actually be... Yeah, maybe that's a tier, Clarence and Star. Even though, like... I'm talking through the nuances of it. It's like Star... Okay, cool. So Star would have been the first boot had she gone to tribal. Like, that's bad. Ends up not being the first boot because they just never go tribal. Gets swapped into a spot where she actually would not have been booted by that point. Like after the swap, it would have been Charity instead of her, and she started to build a relationship with Eva. So like that was okay. Post merge, she then survives also a few votes. She survives over Charity. She survives over Say. Yeah, I think she was on the Say vote. She survives then over Chrissy. She survives over David, and then she goes out. So, like, that's actually a decent amount of votes she gets through. That's what, 4 votes she gets through. I believe voting in the majority for 3 of them, but also it's not like she's like dictating the vote in any real way. I think I kind of stand by the fact that she's by Clarence. I actually think below Clarence in the fact that she was going to be the first boot. I think is what my read is. I guess, like, to be fair, like, Actually, okay. Let me think this through a bit more. Like, I think the fact that Star was almost the first boot is definitely a big knock there. But I think her surviving post-merge tribals is still better than Clarence surviving pre-merge tribals to a degree. Because, like, with Clarence, a lot of the reason why he survives is more so physical strength related. Or, like, Star, and, like, I guess you could argue Star wasn't good at challenges, and that's why they didn't target her. But, like, I think actually, now I think about it, I think Star's probably higher than Clarence. I think that actually makes more sense. I think it's more impressive that Star survives post-merge tribals than it is Clarence surviving pre-merge tribals. Especially when it feels like Clarence only survives tribals because of physical strength, more so than like I think if it was based around like social, like his social standing, he just would have been the first boot. Chet and Julie McGee. Fuck is this next tier? What the fuck? All right, either way. Chet and Julie McGee. Both went to a decent amount of tribals. Like, I think maybe they are in this Kathy tier. And I'm not sure if that means that Kathy should move up or if they should move down. So, like, Chet does go to a decent amount of tribals. Chet goes to the 2 tribals that Kathy survives, but then also survives over Joel, survives over... Wait, is there another, or is he just out next? Am I missing somebody? It is just him next, actually, isn't it? So it's not that many, actually. How much of Clarence's poor standing was due to race, though? A decent amount, too. Which is fair. I think it's a fair thing to call out. I think Clarence is, like... Yeah, I think, like, Clarence's standing in the season is definitely affected by, like, racial biases, especially from someone like a Tom and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if that's a thing that I'm like, am I willing to, like, get, it's like, yeah, I'm not sure if that, like, moves him up necessarily, though. But yeah, it is definitely a thing that factors in for sure. Just who was sick, Diane was old. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's also a factor too. Yeah, the fact that Jesse was sick, it definitely helped out Clarence too. Anyway, Chet survives 3 tribals, votes in the majority for all of them, and then eventually is voted out in a spot where he maybe could have been there for a big move happening. I do think Chet with Kathy actually does make sense, though. But I'm kind of thinking maybe that does mean that they should move up. To maybe, like, here. Let me think through the Kathy argument again. Kathy went to 2 tribals. What's in the majority? These people do go to more tribals. But I think Chet being with like 1 spot above Kathy does just kind of make sense to me. With this list, and like I think ultimately it's like they're both pretty bad players on paper. Like, yeah, Chet maybe had like more potential. Like I think it's like on paper, Chet feels like a better player than Kathy. I think Kathy actually had more upside by the time she leaves. Anyway, it's like I think them being back to back does make sense. Julie McGee, Julie only goes to 1 tribal, right? But she is in the majority for that tribal. And when she quit, she would have probably been around for a little bit, but just like not taken seriously anyway. I actually feel like maybe Julie should be closer to this like Lisi Janu tier. I actually feel like Julie and Janu kind of makes sense. I think the thing to kind of give her like credit is that again she was in the majority for that first vote. But again, I think that's actually yeah. I think Julie is probably just too high on here. I think her being here makes more sense. But then again, Julie versus like Dale Wentworth, I think is like a fair thing to call out. Um, I feel okay moving Julie to here. Wait, is this off by one? Oh yeah, because I moved it one up because of thinking Julie would be there. Okay, yeah. Anyway, why don't we get this intro? What is this? Load. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we already saw this, but I don't know. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we didn't get this very real intro. Like, how do we not get this iconic Zingbot chasing after Calhoun Rome? Dude, that's still insane. Yeah. Where are we at now? We are at this clusterfuck of a tier. I think this is probably where Dale Wentworth is ultimately gonna land. Then again, I said that like 2 tiers ago. Okay, what do we got here? This is actually still kind of a mess. So we do have Jean Robert here. Let's see. Jean Robert, he goes to 2 Premier's Tribals. Let's see. So Jean Robert survives 3 Tribals, gets voted out as 4th. He was targeted by a minority the entire time, was not well liked. At least has like a semblance of game ability to a degree. Yeah, it's like I think the big argument here is him versus Dale. Him versus Dale. I think Dale led a vote, which Jean Robert didn't really do, but also maybe that is like maybe this tier's maybe okay. Like it's like both like kind of bad players, both like confrontational and people don't really like them, but they at least have like a semblance of strategic ability and did end up surviving like a good chunk of tribals. Actually, Dale technically survives more, but then again, Jean Robert voted out more. But anyway, I think actually that feels okay to me though. Jean Robert with Dale Wentworth. The question is above or below. I think I'll go Jean Robert above. I think. Which thank God Jean Robert is the top of the list so far. I don't know. I'm still thinking this through. Okay, is there? There's another person. Clarence was another person that survived 3 tribals, gets voted out their 4th, voted in the majority the entire time. Maybe that's actually I can kind of see that. A Clarence Jean Robert comparison. I think the difference would be the fact that Jean Robert at least had like kind of allies in the game. Like had like Denise and like had James for most of the season at least. Clarence didn't really have anybody. But also it is Clarence. Or also, I mean, also it's Jean Robert, I mean. So I kind of am okay with moving Jean Robert down. Or like you could argue Michael Jefferson, Jason Siska, John Kenny had allegiances in the game at least. Nah, I don't think it sticks. I think ultimately John Robert is someone that like, he still had like more one-on-one connections in the game than like Clearance did. Like even though they weren't particularly close connections, I think it's still enough. Cool, that's great. So yeah, I think I am settling on John Bear at the top. I guess. Oh, okay. John Bear versus Dan. Tell me this isn't real. What is this? Isn't this is Cassidy's mom, isn't it? Yeah. Let me tell me this isn't real. This photo looks fucked. I will say. Yeah, why she? Yeah, that's why. That was my first reaction. It's like, um, yeah, I don't know what they did to Cassidy here. Like it feels like a lot of I don't know, filters or whatever, but I don't know. Actually, I haven't. Yeah, is she still posting? I guess obviously she's posting about. Um, yeah. I think Cassidy's mom follows me. Massacred my girl. Yeah. Uh, to be fair, she doesn't look like. I guess she doesn't look that far off from her mom, but she does probably look like 10 years older in this photo for like some reason. But yeah, I don't know. All right, what are we doing here? Am I really gonna do this one by one? It's annoying, but I feel like I kind of have to for a tier this big. Fuck me. All right. Where do we start, by the way? I think we started at like 570 something. Oh wait, I can check here. I want to at least get through 50 people tonight. Like, I at least want to get through like one episode's worth, just so I can at least like have this done in. I don't know, what is that? Like 10 more streams, 11 more streams. Whatever. Probably 10. Like generally probably short because like yeah, I think by the time we get to the top, it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, it's like this middle section is a fucking pain. I'm a fucking idiot, dude. I literally like went there to look up the thing and I didn't pay attention to the actual number. All right, so we want to get to 525 is the goal. We are 30 people away, 31 people away. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. All right, Alina, okay, it's already 3 o'clock almost, so I'm pretty fucked. Alina, she kind of sucks. She goes to how many tribals? She goes to the Shannon vote off, the Tyrone vote off, the Eve vote off, and then gets voted out the merge. 3 tribals, votes in the majority for 2 of them. Gets voted out in a near unanimous vote at the merge. Didn't really have any super solid allies the entire time. I actually feel like there's an argument she's in this tier with John Kenny and like Jason and Michael Jefferson, particularly in the fact that she just didn't really have any long-term allies. And I guess too bad Jean Robert didn't either. But like they at least were in like a majority group, even though again, how real was that majority group? Like Alina was never. I guess you could argue Alina was in the majority at the swap, but again, that was always that was just more so a marriage of convenience, considering it was like all the young people. Who I want to go home tomorrow? Probably Yash at this point. I don't feel like Yash bring too much. Yeah, I'm thinking of moving Alina down because again, it's just a spot where she doesn't really have a true. But I guess actually a thing though to consider is like when looking at this tier, it's like like Alina and Janine might. Okay, maybe I won't do it that way. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still struggling with like where exactly to go with her. I do feel like this makes sense. This like John Kenny, Michael Jefferson tier over the Dale Jean Robert tier. Because at least they were like in majorities at a point. These people weren't. So yeah, I think that does make sense to me. Maybe she's in her own tier though. Maybe it's its own tier in that range. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Because I feel like RC also kind of fits into that. I don't know. Okay, I'm struggling with Jean Robert just because like I obviously don't think Jean Robert is a good player, and it's not like his resume's that good either. So like maybe I just bite the bullet and just move him down for the sake of it. Because I think it really could be argued either way of Jean Robert, where it's like you can argue he was in like a majority alliance, but you could also argue he was just on the outs the entire time, and like is he that much better than like a Clarence sort of thing? I was Jean Robert that much worse than a Jamie Dugan? I think Jamie Dugan had like actual like ride or die like allies, like people that actually would have like taken her to the end. Like she, like I think she was at the top of her power structure. Like if Zanhu went to every tribal, it's like Jamie's the person at the end there. Jean Robert is like number what 5-6, on a Fei Long. So yeah, I think that's fairly different. I kind of just want to do it, but like I don't think it makes much logical sense. Is like kind of the issue. I kind of want to put him here. Like logistically, I think it makes more sense to have him up here. I mean, like he did survive 3 tribals, but it's not like he had any like nah. Yeah, I think I have to do it. I think I have to leave him here. Yeah. All right. Where are we at? RC. I think RC probably is closer to Alina. I think you can argue she gets screwed out. Like I mean, she gets like out of the game, but also she's had no real allies by the end. I mean, she had like Penner voting with her, but not a real ally. But she only went to one tribal, gets voted out the one tribal. But I think considering it was like kind of an unlucky circumstance, it's like I'm willing to give her like, yeah, I'm willing to give her like Alina level. Better, worse. I think I'll go worse. Maybe. And RC would have just gone if they went to tribal like anytime in the back half of the pre-merge. Like initially Alina had like Kelly Bruno as a shield, and then like post swap she was able to like at least be safe there. So yeah, I think I'll go Alina above RC. Leaf. Leaf I feel like is closer to here. Which is weird considering I had RC above it. Because I'm gonna go. But like alright, let me think through Leaf's game. Survives over Matt Quinlan. Survives over Bill, but also is a spot where they obviously throw the immunity in a spot where like Leaf's name was being thrown out. So that's bad. But still survives over Bill. Gets swapped and then actually does survive over Monica. Would have survived the next vote if they went to tribal. Then gets to merge, survives over Jonas, survives over Michael. I don't think votes Michael out, but I could be wrong on that. Then you have Jay vote where he's on the outs, and then he gets voted after that. But like that's a good amount of tribals. Like that's definitely the most of anyone we talked about so far. The problem is that it's Leaf, so he kind of sucks. But based on the criteria we're currently working with, I do think that's a clear number one. Where yeah, he survives how many votes? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's in the majority for 4 votes, and then survives to his 7th tribal. And again, it would have been an 8th had Colton not been medevaced. So yeah, I think Leaf's just a clear number one actually. Especially because like he was actually in the majority for the entire pre-merge. Like he's obviously not a good player, and I think we'll take that into account fairly soon. But yeah, I think he probably just is a clear number one of the people so far. Which good for Leaf on that, I guess. He was trying to take out Bill, who's targeting him. Like I guess. I don't know if he convinced them, but yeah. Goes without saying, but D's HOH is the first competent HOH we've had in a while. To agree. I mean, yeah, it is. I think even then she's playing it sloppily at this point, but yeah, it is. Riley's wasn't that bad. Riley was pretty yeah, Vince's wasn't bad because it was his only option, so his was great. I think Riley's was kind of like it wasn't horrible. Like I think it's better than Angela and Vince's, but is that really saying much? It's like yeah, she leaves that week with like a power structure, but she also leaves that week with like half the house theoretically targeting her. And I guess like to be fair, like would Cirie have targeted Riley? Maybe not. So like I guess she gets like kind of unlucky. The Heisem in particular wins HOH. Yeah, Daniel had no other options. Is Riley having only 4 options to put up an advantage or disadvantage? I think as a whole, I would lean disadvantage. I don't remember what I was saying at the time. It's this like I think there's pros and cons to both. I think the cons is the fact that it's really only 4 people that feel indebted to you at that point. Because I think like a good like because like yeah like some of the power obviously of that first HOH is the fact that you can at least get this social capital from like, hey, I didn't put you on the block or whatever. Or like with this, it's like you can only say that for like 2 people. Yeah, she did have renom power, but like the renom didn't happen, right? Like I think that becomes like situational at that point. Of like, does the veto get used and whatever. But it also like decreases the blood on your hands because it's like, yeah, I didn't have many other options. So it's like it can go either way. I would lean towards it being a negative though, because it obviously just like limits your like options, your initial options, and it like gains you less social capital. But hey, it's not the worst in the world, I guess. Morgan McLeod. Survives what, 3 tribals? Gets voted out of 4th. Is on the outs when Bryce goes. Gets into a majority group when Alexis goes. Was in the majority at the merge, but then cast flips and then gets voted out after that. She's not particularly good. I think she did do some good recovery. That's kind of an interesting one, actually. Yeah, I think she does some good recovery at the end of her game, but then, like, she kind of, like, ends in a whimper. It's kind of one of these cases where, like, I feel like her game is better than RC and Alina's, but my gut is that RC and Alina are better players. Like, if RC and Alina played Survivor again, I would have so much more faith in RC and Alina than I would Morgan. But I think Morgan's game is better. I also can kind of see a Dale Wentworth Morgan comparison in the fact that there were, like, points where they were in the majority. But it's not like she ever, like, dictates a vote in her direction or, like, had much, like, actual gumption in that way. I think my gut right now is that she's, like, kind of in the middle of this. I think she's, like, there for now. Yeah, it's like, I think ultimately this list is more so going to be based around reality than potential. Like, I think that's why we've had so many adjustments at this point, is because we're kind of still making, like, adjustments for that. But yeah, I think that does lean Morgan here, like, above Alina and RC. But his HOH was so fascinating because he did create a good power structure for him, but it laid bare his indecision and cowardice. Yeah. It's like he had a good, like he ends up, he ends that HOH with, like, a decent power structure around him, but it just could have been better. And, like, the way he handles, the nuances of it is just bad. I didn't even see Amazing Race 39 premiere day. I knew Survivor premiere day we saw. I didn't even pay attention to Amazing Race, but yeah, cool. Taylor from Legend X gets voted out as 4th tribal. Votes out one person. Had an alliance, at least. Only person he votes out is Mari, right? Then he gets swapped, is on the bottom when Figgy goes home. At the merge, is on the bottom when Michelle goes home, and he goes home right after. He's pretty bad. He at least had an alliance, to give him credit for that. I feel like it's probably Morgan McLeod level, or maybe it's like Dale. Dale at least was in the majority for 2 votes. Taylor was only in the majority for 1. So yeah, I think that's probably Morgan McLeod level. I'm debating above or below, actually. I actually feel like there's an argument Morgan's better. Like, Taylor obviously started off in the majority that Morgan didn't, but I think Morgan actually, like, recovered well. Even though, like, she was swapped in a fortunate position to do that, but, like, she at least, like, got in if, like, Tasha and, like, Sarah Lucina. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna go Morgan above Taylor. Yeah, we'll do that. Angela Perkins. I think Angela's probably going to be more of a Leaf, if I were to guess. Angela survives a lot of tribals, to give her credit. I don't think she's a particularly good player, but she gets all the way to Final Four. And I think with how we're structuring the list at this point, that probably is enough to put her there. Uh, Let me think of how many. She goes to a lot, right? She goes to like a good chunk of tribals. Like she she was kind of almost out at her first tribal, so that's kind of bad. But yeah, when Morgan goes out, she's there. She goes to the James Lim tribal, survives that, votes in the majority. She then goes Chris Noble tribal. She's on the outs, but survives it. Gets voted. Wait, no, wait. What am I talking about? At 12 is. Oh, Libby. Libby, she's in the majority for that vote, I believe. Even though an Idol's played. Then you have Desiree vote, where I believe she's on the outs for that. It is one where she's like kind of in and out of the majority. But again, it's a lot of tribal she's going to. It's like what, 5 there, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. She goes to 11 tribals. Like that's kind of that's way more than anyone we've gone through so far. The problem is that I don't know how many of them she's in the majority for. Rum just said he feels like the president of the house. Good for him. I see that Devin's told Chuck that they're voting out. Ashley. So that's something. Let's see. I see Devin's doing a lot of talking recently. Yeah, whatever. All right, wait, what was it? So yeah, I think Angela Leaf. Okay, I think I actually do need to count up the amount of times Angela's in the majority for whatever reason. All right, Angela votes out. So she goes to 11 tribals. She's in the majority for the James vote. She's in the majority for the Libby vote, I believe. She's in the majority for the Jenna vote, for the 9. Wait, no, 8. Chelsea vote, she's not. Kellen vote, she is. Sebastian vote, she is, but that's bad. Donathan. Is she? Wait, is Leaf? I think I'm settling on her with Leaf. I think that's where I'm settling, and I actually think I'm settling on her below Leaf. I think. Let me see something real quick. Okay, yeah. Like Leaf was at least more in the majority. Like, I think ultimately Angela is voting in the majority more, like slightly more than Leaf, but like Leaf was actually in a majority alliance more than Leaf. Somehow. I have Angela very low, don't I? Where's my final juror ranking? This one? No, that's penultimate. Where's my final juror ranking? Oh, I had more here. Okay. Yeah, she's like 5th from the bottom. Or 6th. 6th from the bottom. Above Rick Devens. So that's something. Yeah, I'll do that. Only 25 more people to go. How many people is that until... Okay, so it's until this tier. Until Gina Cruz. Thank God. Thank God we can save Daniel Strunk for next stream. We'll see. Either way, I think I'll go until 4. I think it's whatever happens first. I get 4 o'clock or this. We'll see. Janine, I think Janine's probably closer to the Alina RC level. Yeah, never really gets her way. Goes to how many tribals? Justine, she has the Mariah vote, the Ellie vote, the Dwight vote, and then her vote. So only 4 tribals. She's not in the majority. She's only in the majority for one of them. What have Eddie and Christina better? I think Eddie, in terms of player, I give him like credit for the fact that he's like the type of guy that's just gonna make it deep more most times. Christina, I think Christina's in the majority more than Angela, right? Like I think Christina, like yeah, Angela and Christina are like similar, but it's like at least Christina's voting with the all women group most of the time. And is like with that alliance. Like Angela's not even like consistently in the majority. Like she only votes correctly like half her tribals. And even then, it's like not even all those are ones where she's like getting her way, or like doing what she like getting what she wants done. Yeah. What was I doing? Yeah, Janine. 4 tribals, votes correctly once. Is not really in the majority for a lot of the season. I guess, like, to be fair, maybe that's closer. Actually, yeah, that's closer to here. Like, that's more of a Morgan Taylor level. Again, I think I think Morgan had better recovery. Like, I'd say she's probably better than Taylor. Like, I think Taylor's definitely a more, like, self-destructive sort of player. But yeah, I think Janine there makes sense. Then we got my queen. I sadly think my queen has to be here. I think she's like RC Alina level. Goes to what? 2 tribals. I did think gets fairly unlucky at the first, to be fair. Does vote in the majority. But ultimately never had any like real allies. So yeah, I think she probably just is here. A million people do listen to her music. I'm one of them. I'm a big I don't know what song about. I'm a big Slow Burn fan. I'm a big Sunday Crossword fan. Let's see. I think I'll go top of this group. Like her boot is weird, and I think there's at least like some good work with her like pulling in Sean. But again, it's still a spot where like she never had a real ally. Taylor at least had a real ally. Janine did. Morgan kind of did by the end. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I just realized also I fucked this up. I need to do this and paste this here. Now I need to double check I didn't delete somebody because that would be annoying. Okay, we're good. All right, Ryan Medrano. Ryan survives a while. I mean, like obviously there's the disastrous like second round where like he throws the immunity challenge and he was about to be voted out. Like that was kind of bad. But he survives over Lindsay. He's never in danger there. Again, second round's bad, but like he survives it, like very luckily, and though is blindside when it happens. Merge vote. Survives is in the majority. 12 is Dwight. Dwight, he's in the majority. Janine, he's in the majority. And then he's out split tribal. So he goes to 6? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he goes to 6 tribals. That's actually quite a bit. He's in the majority for how many of them? 1, 2. I think really in the majority for 3, ends up in the majority for 4. Yeah, I think that's Leaf level? Leaf Angela level? And like I think actually Leaf is like actually kind of a decent 1-for-1. If anything, Leaf's actually more consistently in the majority group, I feel like. Though I think like also like kind of give credit to Ryan for recovering post merge. And I do think his boot is kind of a weird one too. Him throwing immunities really weird. Yeah, you know, actually, fuck it. I'll go Ryan top. I do love Ryan as a top. Fuck me, dude. There. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. What we got? We got Margaret, Christina Coria, Rita, Stephanie Favor, everyone's favorite. Stephanie Favor makes the 50 review, by the way. Thank God. But yeah, all right. What are these people? People that survive a few tribals. I think these people are probably moving down, if I were to guess. Basically, I think the like criteria has changed. Okay, so looking at Stephanie Favor, like okay, actually, I think I can easily rank these. I think Rita's the top of these, right? Nah, whatever. We'll just deal with it this way anyway. Christina Coria, or fuck me, Stephanie Favor, goes to 3 tribals, gets voted out at her 3rd, votes in the majority of first 2 votes, is the swing vote her first vote. Though kind of goes out in a whimper. I think she's moving down, but I don't know by how much. Like, really, all these people survive more tribals than her. I guess, like, the argument would be the fact that she... So, like, I think my initial instinct is here. I think the argument between her and, like, Star and Clarence is that she wasn't, like, an initial social pariah. So, like, maybe that's good enough to be above that. But yeah, I can kind of see maybe cool. Like maybe like right after that. I'm trying to remember. Star and Clarence survived 3 tribals, went his 4th. What a great grouping of players. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Rita Vereros? Who doesn't love Christina Coria, the MAGA queen herself, I guess. Who doesn't love mashed potatoes? Who doesn't love ADD? I think actually maybe it's higher. Okay, wait, let me think. Because like generally these people only vote off 1 to 2 people also, and like didn't really have good. Yeah, maybe lower. I guess for Margaret, maybe Margaret is lower. Like Stephanie Favor, I think is like I think my gut is Stephanie Favor's like somewhere in this range. Again, in the majority for first 2 votes, then gets voted out the 3rd. Or like these people weren't really in a true majority the entire season. But I guess too, for she was the swing. It's not like she had like a real alliance. Those like backing her. But also, I don't think she does that much wrong either, though. The Christina Courier is someone that like survives over her. Call her mashed potatoes in the video. He'll say like Miss Mashed Potatoes herself or something. Yeah, I think Margaret's just lower in looking at it. It's like at least like these people, like Christina goes to like same travels as Stephanie but survives one more. Rita goes to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. Tribals. Yeah. Gets voted out of 4th. Margaret is someone that gets voted out of 3rd. Also, like, yeah, I just think Margaret's just way worse, actually. Like, she goes to vote out her 3rd, and also wasn't in that great of a spot in her original tribe anyway. And, like, I guess, like, was swap screwed, so I guess maybe that's the thing to factor in. But I don't think she should be that much higher than, like, these people, though. Like, Melinda Hyder and Erica. Like, she was swap screwed in the sense that, like, I mean, she's technically swapped into, like, equal tribes, but yeah, it's like, but yeah, it's like these people were swap screwed too. Melinda and Erica. I mean, like, Erica wasn't swap screwed, but like screwed by like the opening twist of Fiji. But I think it's like a similar-ish position where like she wasn't like fundamentally screwed by the swap, but it definitely disfavored her. And she still didn't play particularly well. It's like her, yeah, like she kind of gave up by the end. And even then, like her original tribe was like annoyed with her. Does Jason give Todrick vibes? Not really. I mean, like I guess in terms of like being this like super villain sort of thing, but I think like very different. Maybe playstyle actually is similar. It's just that their effectiveness is different, I guess. Like I think Todrick is like kind of more of a mix of like it's like Jason if Jason was in the roam position. I think it's Todrick. Yeah, I think I'm moving Margaret down here. Is something I'm doing. Probably at the top, though. Just because she survives one tribal after the swap screw. Yeah, I'm just double checking things. I think that's fine. I don't feel too bad about that. Then we have. I think these 3 I'm keeping together. I think this is fine. Being people that like. Actually, wait. Let me think about Christina Courier versus Rita. Rita survived 3 tribals, gets voted out the 4th, was voting in the majority the entire way. Christina votes out Billy, but didn't want that to happen. Votes out JP. I actually don't remember. Did she vote out Stephanie or did she not? Either way, I actually feel fine with Rita being above. So yeah, I think these 3 together still make sense. It's a matter of where are they. So Stephanie only goes to 3 tribals. Christina goes to 4. Rita goes to 4. 3 tribals get votes out. Your 4th is a swing vote, though. So like I think bare minimum Stephanie is here, like above Chet. Which again, what a great comparison. Oh, did Rome say alpha? Well, thank God. Makes sense. Oh, I see the post now. Rome say is egotistical. Feel like I'm the president of the house. Which no, that's not egotistical at all. That's just the truth. That's the truth of being an alpha. Let's see. Alina survives 2 tribals. See, I think the issue I have is that even though Stephanie was like a swing vote, she didn't really have any real allies. And kind of the same thing Christina and Rita. So like, it's like these people at least like had okay, actually wait, I think at least they're above Star and Clarence. But like at least these people had like some allies. There's like while they're surviving a while, they don't really have allies. Like these people are surviving similar amounts of tribals. But I guess like to be fair, they're like probably like actively worse players. And I guess to be fair, they're voting more correctly than these. So yeah, I think maybe still above this. Maybe I just add them to this tier. Like maybe I keep RC lower, but then they're voting correctly all the time, though. Yeah, I think above at least. Yeah, what was this tweet? Are these the same? No, they're different, right? There, what are these? Almost recruit Angela.
It's like, I'm going to be the people that need me. I'm going to be their physical gladiator, right? I'm personable enough to stay at an arm's distance from.
Oh my God, he's going to say the thing.
Cordial with them and cool. Arm's distance from all the alphas, but be cordial with them and cool. But that's not really my personality style, and I think you can kind of tell that.
Yeah,
like, I'm not like the
I'm just a beta.
Look off to be
that part.
Does he say beta at any point here?
Okay.
That looked very suspicious. Wait. Oh, best. I thought it said beta. Yeah, there's no beta here. So her talking to. Oh. Cool. Well, there we go. Well, that's great. Yeah, I think OBS is about to crash. Thank God. Let's see if it comes back. Anytime now. It should be fine, right? Why is... Okay, it's fine. I actually do have... Generally, I do have that issue at points where, like, watching videos on, yeah, with CBS. Yeah, but, like, watching videos on Twitter sometimes, like, crashes my computer for, like, some reason. To where, like, it just does that sometimes.
But it didn't.
Hey,
but it didn't.
Hey, but it didn't.
But it didn't.
But it didn't. But it didn't.
It is funny to me just like how much Dee and Angela get along, because I would not have expected that. And like obviously it's still week 1, like it could go downhill, but like yeah, I generally don't expect them to be like so like close like this. Like I generally thought Lala would be like Dee's like #1 like older woman ally. But
But I thought,
but
it's
no,
gonna make
they're
people nervous
doing
to
this
talk to
instead.
Didn't.
Hey,
But it didn't.
hey, but it didn't.
But it didn't.
Yeah, that's kind of funny though. All right. All right, let's see. Christina, Rita, Stephanie Favor in comparison to these people. Again, they voted in the majority more, but I don't know. Does that really matter too much? When they don't have allies. I think I am going to go above here, and I think maybe this is kind of where it stops. Oh, either it stops or they're right above it. Okay, well, let me see this real quick. It looks like my computer just found out my computer. Okay, yeah, cool. Thank God. It finally found out that it crashed. How far into stream are we, by the way? I know I started late. Yeah, only a little over 4 hours. Anyway, yeah, it's not looking great for us getting more than just the bare minimum done tonight, but I'll get this bare minimum done. Maybe. I say that, but who knows? But yeah, what am I doing again? I think, yeah, I'm kind of thinking this here. At least Dale and Jean Robert had alliances to a degree with Jean Robert, but you know, actually, no. I think I will. Yeah, I think I'll do this. I think I will put Angela, Leaf, and Ryan above. Where, like, I think in probably in retrospect they were just too low to begin with, but I think I'll put these three here. All right, Trish and Lisa Kiefer. What a combo. So Lisa goes to 4? Yes, 4 tribals. Votes in the majority for 2 of them, even though one of them is not real. Like one of them's like her flipping to not cause a tie. And then, to be fair though, the first one was also kind of wonky with that being like the Dolly vote. Like they technically had the numbers, but Eliza messed it up. So what? 4 tribals, a couple correct. I think these people are probably just outright moving up. If I were to guess, like I think these people are probably moving up to at least like this level. And okay, let me think about Trish first. Trish went to 3 tribals, gets voted out her 3rd. At least was a swing. And at least had agency for her first couple of us. I'm kind of thinking maybe I think this might just stay the same. I'm thinking these 2 just stay here. Like I think they're kind of just this, but with agency. Like they went to a similar amount of tribals, at least like made more individualistic moves. So, yeah, I don't think that's the worst in the world, and hopefully we get more of those, even though I don't think we will because the next tier is a bit fucked. All right, this is the tier of quitters / medevacs, which I think this will probably have to run through. Okay, wait. So like tier wise, I think. Actually, looking back on it, Trish or Lisa Kiefer. Because I think I could technically go either way on that one. Trish, I think, probably was a more active player. Lisa. I think actually Lisa's above in retrospect. Especially because, like Trish also fucks it up by the end. So, like, or, like, I don't think Lisa does that much, like, wrong. I think it was just, like, continuing distrust from, like, earlier on in the game. In terms of her boot round. Yeah, I think with this, I think... Okay, I think the tough thing about these people, actually, wait, let me. How high are they going to be? Here. All right, yeah, but the tough thing about these people, so like, I think Ramona and Jesse are essentially just a 1-for-1. Like, I don't think there's a real difference between them. They're both people that went to a second tribe, like went to 2 tribals, voted correctly their first time, get voted out their second time because they quit / were again sick. And yeah, it's like there's not much to really say about that. Tanya is essentially the same thing, but just better because I think she had more inroads in the game. Like, she was closer to like Brian, who was running the game. Like with Ramona and Jesse, they were seemingly like towards the bottom of the pecking order anyway. So I don't think it ultimately matters too much. Actually, let's copy this, by the way. So like, I think at least in terms of this, I think Tanya's above. GC is a little different. Am I happy I didn't pick Ashley as my winner pick? I mean, like, Jason's not much better. That'd be very funny, actually, if my top 2 were the first 2 boots of the season. That will be very funny, actually, if that plays out that way. But yeah, I actually think Ashley's probably a better player than Jason. It's where there's still a shot I picked the wrong person still. But anyway, yeah, GC, he does end up surviving a good chunk of tribals. He goes to what? 1, 2 before the swap, post swap. He goes to 2, I think, right? So he gets voted out as 4th. Had allies, but ultimately didn't really want to be there. I think he's worse than this for sure. I think he's probably more of a Tanya level, though, than Ramona and Jesse for surviving as many tribals as he does. Jerry Sims. I think Jerry is probably more of a Ramona Jesse. Like, survives 1 tribal, was not in a particularly great spot long term, but gets voted out in a spot where he wouldn't have been voted out unless he quit. Lyric is better than both of them, yeah. Then who was 4th? Barrett. Barrett would have been obviously just the better. Barrett was a boring pick, though. I don't want to be boring. Wait, Shamar, I think, is closer to a GC here. He survives 2 tribals and then would have been probably fine for a short term at least. Dana doesn't go to any tribals and quits, but like doesn't seem to be in danger for at least the first vote, but we ultimately don't really know. So I think the order of operations here is, I guess, like, Dana at least had allies, theoretically, but we just also, like, she never survived a vote. Yeah, I think I'll do Dana. Ramona had Jervis voting with her, right? I think that's at least an edge there, maybe. So I think Jesse, then I guess Jesse. Like, Jerry's a weird one because, like, I don't know where Jerry really stood on that tribe. Like, I don't think he really had anybody, like, as, like, a solid number 1. Like, I don't think he was, like, it's not like he was, like, really, really close to, like, Coach or Tyson or them. Like, I think he was just kind of there. But also he was kind of, like, checked out, too. So it's like, other than he couldn't shit. I don't really have a vested interest here. I think I'll go that. Why not? Actually, let me see something real quick. I want to look up the voting chart for Borneo, just to double check Ramona's thing. I think Jervis voted with her, if I'm not making that up. Oh wait, it was a fucked vote. Okay, wait. So yeah, Jervis voted with her, and then Greg. Oh yeah, I forgot Greg was Greg. Yeah, so I think that definitely does make Ramona number one. Jerry versus Jesse. Like Jesse at least was close to. I think I'll go Jesse actually. Jesse at least had like Kelly Goldsmith as like a good ally. Jerry, I just don't really know if Jerry had anybody. So yeah, now the question is, are they here? I think they're lower. Okay, well, I should probably just make room. Is also a thing I should probably do. Why is Jesse much higher than Clarence? Because I don't think Jesse would have gone. Like, I think Clarence goes home over Jesse if Jesse didn't get sick. And it's like Clarence just like was never able to gain any traction in the game. Yeah, okay. I think at least. Yeah, I watched the Big Brother episode. It was fine. I thought the best part of the episode was the Jason Angela stuff. I think the episode definitely felt long. Like you could definitely feel the 90 minutes on this one. Like I think the last episode was like very strong, where like it was just kind of like a consistent, like full episode. Like this one definitely, like I think like the lyric Rome segment went on a bit long. It's like it was not as strong as the last one in my opinion, but it was still fine. Let's see. I'm thinking of going like here for them. I think I might split up this tier just because I feel like there is probably a difference between them where like I feel like Ramona, Jesse, Jerry, Dana is like a grouping of players that like yeah, they were sick and went out, but like also I don't know how much actual potential they had anyway. So like they only went to one tribal, survived it. Like these are people that like sort of like I can maybe give them credit for like one more tribal. I don't know if I'm gonna give them credit for like more than one tribal, where like these are people that survived at least two. So it's like, and like at least control the vote with like a Stephanie favor. So it's like, again, like whatever. I think I will go with these people here. Then the Tanya, GC, Shamar tier is a bit more interesting. Okay, cool. Stop. Like I think probably above the Rita group. I mean, like, okay, Tanya's a bit of a weird one because like Tanya technically is just this, but we just have a better read on her long-term potential. Where like she's this, but she was with the majority group. That went on the run this season. So like I think that's like I'm willing to give her like a couple tribal boost on that, I feel like. And then GC went to what, 4 tribals. Shamar only went to 2, but would have survived more also. Why isn't Maya number 1? Because I'm not biased. Again, I'm a purely objective ranker. Again, you're not going to see Stephanie Valencia being at number 1. You're not going to see Victoria Baymonde at number 1. Yeah, I am considering this, though. It's like the intention was to put him here. I don't know if Tanya should be that much higher. I think I'm gonna go something like this. I think GC here at the bottom, because I think GC is kind of like a glorified this. Then I think Shamar and then Tanya probably. Wait, is that even the right? No, this is wrong, right? Yeah, they're supposed to be here. Okay, cool. Fuck that up. There. Yeah, I think Shamar here. Because I think Shamar, like, probably, like, I think Shamar was also with, like, a group that probably, actually, I guess not necessarily. But still, I think Shamar had some interesting thoughts about the game, like, was trying to, like, pull over Hope. They'd have Sherry as a solid ally. I don't think would have been naturally voted out in the short term, at least. How yellow the orange looks. Let's see. Oh, it does on my stream, at least. Like, on my, like, the one I'm seeing. But I don't know. I believe, yeah, Rick and Bear did shit at bed, right? Oh, wait, no, fuck me, dude. I love how, like, chat just scrolled all the way fucking up. Like, the, like, I think, what was that? Your Viber's post from, like, an hour ago. Whatever. Yeah, I think, I'll go Tanya here. That looks weird now because, like, they're next to each other, but whatever. Just double checking if I feel okay with that. I actually feel like Tanya is someone I could go here, but I just don't know if I should. Because we ultimately don't really know how active a player Tanya is. So yeah, I think I'd leave her there. I kind of do want to put her higher, though. Okay, we got what? 10 people left? Something like that. Essentially this, right? I think these are remaining people. Brady, Finta, Spencer, Michaela is next here. These people might move down also. It's like Brady survived, went to 3 tribals, gets voted as 3rd. I think is a fairly competent player. You've been waiting for Brady Finta all day, clearly. Spencer Dunn, same thing, right? Goes to 3? Yeah. Gets voted as 3rd. Also, like, kind of an okay player. Michaela Wingle, same exact thing. Yeah. So I think all these are players that went to 3 tribals. Not terrible players. Didn't really do that much wrong. But also didn't do too much right either. Yeah, I think these people went to more tribals. Like, I think you can argue these players played worse, like, actively. Actually, no, let's do this. But I do feel like with the way we're ranking things now, I give them credit for going to, because, like, it's not by, like, if it was only by, like, 1, I think I would be willing to do this, because, like, I do think Brady, Spencer, Michaela are all, like, fine players, all things considered. But, like, it's by a decent, like, Leaf went to, what, 7 or 8 tribals, Angela went to 11, Ryan Medrano went to, like, 7 or something. So it's, like, it's not close. It's, like, it's those numbers versus 3. And, like, even then, it's not like these were, like, people in, like, actual real majority groups or anything. So, yeah, I think I'd leave them there. I forgot to say this, but my sister hates Kagiana. I feel like my life is a lie. You should. That's your punishment for not making your sister like Kagian. You should force her to like Kageon. All right, how do I rank these though? Actually, I guess actually there even is an argument. Are they even higher than Trish and Lisa? Like Trish and Lisa had more like agency in the game to where maybe they are higher, but I also feel like they're more at fault for their elimination. Or I think Brady, Spencer, Michaela are more so in spots where like they just didn't have great starting spots to begin with, and kind of made the best of it. I feel like with Lisa and Trish, you can like call out more they did wrong, but like also there's probably like more that they did right, I guess. Man, I think I'll keep it as is. Want to see a disturbing Roman lyric clip? I don't. I don't know. Depends how disturbing, I guess. All right, so with this, I think Brady. It's a weird spot where like I think Brady's actually probably the better player, but I think for this list we're putting him as the worst. Just because like Brady's one that's like pretty much all potential based over reality. Like Brady's someone that like doesn't vote a single person out. Spencer at least is voting for the first two people. Then yeah, I think Michaela's just the top of these. I think that's kind of actually an easy 3. Yeah, what is this? What am I gonna see? Probably should be more cautious with Roman lyric clips.
This top is so under boob. Also, this top is so under boob. I'm kind of scared it's gonna freaking fall out.
Okay, yeah, that.
I don't even have boobs, but alright.
You did shockingly do.
No, I do not.
You do shockingly do. What the fuck is that?
You did shockingly do.
No, I do
You
not.
do. You do. But so I was when Jason ran upstairs.
What are we doing here? Yeah, cool. Wait, did I fuck this up again? I think I did. Yeah, because I still have 2 of Michaela and okay, yeah. I should delete this. All right, one more tier for tonight, and then I can fucking go to sleep. Kind of. I actually can't because I need to export the VOD and whatever, but close enough. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Fuck, actually, I think I technically do one more tier. Well, I mean, it's only 2 people. Daniel Strunk and Bianca, so that's kind of whatever. Anyway, okay, let me think this through. So Gina Cruz goes to... I would assume this is a tier of... Yeah, I assume this is a tier of people that went to a decent amount of tribals. So Gina Cruz went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the majority for 2, though. So it's a pretty bad ratio. Shauna goes to 1, 2, 3. Gets voted out by her own people. Is in the majority for 2 of them. Does want to quit, though. So it's like, I think she's... actually, I don't know. Between her and Gina, it's actually kind of an interesting one. Very locked in that Ashley goes, then Yash. Yeah. That's a shame. Hopefully Ashley wins the blockbuster. Kind of doubt it, though. Sharia. Oh, yeah, I forgot. These are all, like... Actually, not all, but some of them are swap screwed also. Shauna versus Gina Cruz is a tough one. I actually think I would lean Shauna because she stayed in the majority of the entire pre-merge. Sharia went to 1, 2, 3, 4 tribals, gets voted out 4th, but was swap screwed. Though also was kind of on the bottom of her tribe by the time she gets swapped anyway. But I think that is still probably Shauna level. Sarita goes to 1, 2, 3, 4 tribals. Gets voted out 3rd. Doesn't get swapped. So I think it's probably something like this now. Angie gets voted out her third. It doesn't get swapped. Though also kind of gets voted out because of physical strength. I think she's probably more Sarita level. Then Tom Laidlaw is... He survives, what, 1, 2, 3. He gets voted as fourth. Gets swapped into that position. Yeah, so okay. I think this is probably an initial breakdown. Is Gina Cruz just on the bottom? I mean, like, I guess she was swap screwed when, like, or I guess she wasn't swap screwed, though. She was going to go out anyway. Yeah, okay, I think that's actually fine. I actually think, if anything, Gina might go lower then. Yeah, because, like, is Gina really better than Stephanie Favor? Like, I feel like Gina might be, like, here. I mean, she does... Okay, she does actually go to 5 tribals, though. I think that's, like, kind of her saving grace. Wait, what? How did this happen? How did this tier get here? Oh, because Tanya's in that tier. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. You know, this is going to bother me. I think I'm going to move Tanya here because it's going to bother me otherwise. Either way. Yeah, I think Gina is moving down tier-wise. I think she's in this tier. Like, I think these players at least had, like, a level of agency to them. I guess you could argue here, though. Because, like, GC... like, also went to a decent amount of tribals. Gina actually went to more, but I guess she was in the majority. Or he was in the majority for more than she was. Yeah, maybe I go here. No, but she was going to be the next out anyway. Yeah, I think I settle on here. Like, she was going to be the next out even if she didn't swap. Like, she would have been, what, the 4th boot of the season? So, like, that's not that different from a Rita. So I think I go her here. Like, I think give her credit for, like, surviving a vote after the swap, but I think ultimately pre-swap she's just Rita. King of doing a near out 5-hour stream. Dude, I'm genuinely fucking dead, but I need to get this done. So I need to at least, like, I need to at least get 1 episode's worth out of this, like, what, 50 people. Hopefully next stream I can be a bit more awake. We'll see. I need to get generally it's more so the Survivor review that's fucking me over right now. I just need to get the Survivor review done. Like, I just need to be in a spot where I'm not, like, looking at fucking Premiere all day, because that genuinely does, like, burn out my eyes. So that's kind of why I'm so tired. Speaking of that, I am getting I'm going to the eye doctor on Monday, so that's something. Because I haven't gotten new glasses in, like, 6 years, like, literally before COVID, 7 years. Out of pure laziness, by the way. Like, it's not like I don't have insurance or anything. Like, I've just been lazy and just haven't done it. But yeah, generally, if it wasn't for that, I would actually, like, be more solidly, like I think the fifth theory will, like, 100% be out by, like, midday Monday, but because of that, it might not be out until, like, end of day Monday, but, like, we'll see. For members, clarify. Use dark mode. Is there dark mode for... Actually, I don't even know if there... Is there dark mode for Excel? Wait, I am in dark mode. That's why it's like this. I guess, like, I would have to, like... Oh, are we talking about for Premiere? Oh, the problem is I can't. Because I have Premiere Elements. Premiere Elements doesn't have a dark mode, which is annoying. Like, if anything, actually, generally, if I were to get Premiere, that would be one of the main motivations for it, is that Premiere has a dark mode. Premiere Elements doesn't. But, yeah. I don't feel like paying... How much is Adobe nowadays? Thank God we're going on this side tangent at 4 o'clock in the morning, when I still have a play ranking to do. But, Adobe Premiere per month. $23 a month. Let me look at this, actually. Either way, I don't feel like fucking paying for it when I already have things that work. Yeah, I could pirate it, but I'm not a big pirater. Again, I have morals, and which is why I... yeah, whatever. Because again, I definitely haven't pirated anything else in my entire life. Yeah, but I could, like, there's other, obviously, like, software that's free, but, like, I've just used Premiere my entire life. So, like, I just know how to use Premiere. But it's not like my fucking videos take that much editing. But still, I just know Premiere better. So this would probably be the best deal. Typically $70 a month, though, is kind of insane. Like, Adobe's just so expensive. And, like, to be fair, it's like, I obviously make enough money on YouTube to where, like, I can afford it. But, like, I don't want to. I need to buy random other video games over getting Premiere Pro. I needed to buy a copy of Project Tower. That was what that game's called, right? I think that's what that game is called. Yeah, Project Tower. A 2.8 out of 5 game, but a game that only released 1,000 copies. I needed to get that. Anyway, all right, let's finish this. It's super AI integrated now. Keeping ads for which thing? Remove video does not convince me that videos don't need much. I mean, yeah, remove video is definitely its own separate thing. Can't write off. I can. Which, yeah, that's fair. I mean, but, like, writing it off is, like, it's just, like, it's just you don't pay taxes on it. But I guess it's like, oh, whatever. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. What was it? Sarita and Angie, is that where we're at? I think I go, I don't know, actually. Sarita or Angie? Sarita goes to one more tribal, and Sarita had a real alliance. But also Sarita's alliance flips on her for, like, no real reason. Or, like, Angie's at least was, like, a physical strength sort of thing. I think I'll still go Sarita first, though. And yeah, I think I'm still keeping them here. I actually feel like there's an argument. Is Angie actually maybe closer to this tier? Because I actually feel like Michaela might be better than Angie. Because, like, Michaela at least did have, what's it called? Sophie and Albert sticking by her. I guess again, it's still an issue that she didn't really have an alliance, but did Angie really have that much of an alliance? So yeah, I kind of do just want to I kind of want to move Angie there. And then I think I will put it like this. And then I guess Sarita's just on her own now. Or do I have Sarita? Maybe I just... Okay, let's do... Wait, did I not make more room? What happened to all the room I made? Did I just, like, not make that much room? What the fuck did I do? Okay. Yeah, Sarita, I think, is joining this tier. Potentially. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's gonna bother me. I'm gonna do that. All right. Shauna, Sharia, Tom Laidlaw. Shauna had more of an alliance, but also like kept on trying to quit the game. So I don't know. Sharia was probably lower in her pecking order. I think less people liked Sharia, but I guess it's like she was probably more screwed than a Tom. I'm talking about the most irrelevant people. How dare you talk about Sharia being irrelevant? Like Tom Laidlaw was like a fairly affable person, but also generally this is like such a shit group though. Like I mean, like just in the sense that there's like not much to really say. It's like they didn't really have long-term prospects, but they were kind of swap screwed. But they all also went to like the same amount of tribals. Let's see. Sharia went to 4. Tom Laidlaw went to 4. Shauna went to 3. There we go. Shauna's the worst. Fucking loser. Only going to 3 tribals. Generally, I think that's enough. Yeah, whatever. She's last of that. I think Shauna and Sarita maybe is a tier. I think maybe I'll do that. Just for sake of separating him. And then, yeah, Tom and Sharia. I do think are next at least, but yeah, I don't know. The order there is like kind of irrelevant, to be honest. I feel like Tom is more liked. But also, I think his vote off's like a little worse. But I guess like Sharia was confrontational with like Jean Robert, but also Sean Robert. But I'll go Tom. And then Sharia, I think. And for the sake of just being for sure over 50 people, I'll do one more tier of Daniel Strunk and Bianca Roses. Which again, I think are also still here. I think we're still in the spot where this tier... I think this is the first tier where we're going to have to argue with this tier, but we'll deal with that next stream. Okay, only 523 people to go after this stream. That's something. Yeah, Daniel Strunk and Bianca. Daniel Strunk was the initial swing. Does fuck up the vote, though I don't know how much I fault him for it. Generally, like, he might be lower, though. I think because, like, Bianca also gets voted our first tribal. Like, I think they only go to one tribal, and I think that's a big thing for this list. Well, I guess Daniel Strunk goes to 2, but, like, either way. I'm thinking maybe like around this level of like a Lisa Kiefer, Trish Dunn level. If anything, they're probably higher. Let's see. I mean, like, I think on paper they're better players, Daniel Strunk and Bianca. But like, they at least have votes that they survived. I'm leaning towards something like this. Wait, this? Why is Tanya Vance a tier below? I think she's meant to be there, right? Yeah, okay. And then... Yeah, I think I'll go Bianca and Daniel Strunk here. And... Order's interesting. I think I might go Daniel Strunk above. I think on paper, Bianca's a better player. Actually, I don't know. That's kind of close. Hope Ashley tries in the blockbuster. I mean, is she talking about not trying? She better fucking try. Yeah, let's see. Daniel Strunk, Bianca. I think I'm going to go Daniel Strunk first. I think Daniel Strunk at least got through the tribal he was very unlucky at. I think like Bianca's mistake is less disastrous, but I think the edge, again, I'm kind of giving the edge to Daniel Strunk. Anyway, that's it. It's fucking late. I didn't want to obviously go this long, but I kind of had to.